How's it going, Giants fans? My name is Alex, and my co-host here, Anthony Rivardo. And today we're unraveling a pretty special segment sequence that we're going to be doing every Friday, Fan Friday, with our guy Raheim. Talk about the Giants, kind of how surprising we've been this year, and just elevating expectations, and how we've kind of outplayed our competition. Just great coaching, discipline, execution all around, and how we hopefully think that this can continue. Raheim's really excited. Anthony's excited. I'm excited. And if anyone tells you that you're not allowed to enjoy this moment, tell them to fuck off. Seriously, because it's not okay. People are like, wait until it all comes crashing down, blah, blah, blah. We've been going through absolute hell for the last couple of years, and we deserve to enjoy the success that we're enjoying right now, Raheim. And, how you doing, my man? I'm excited to talk to you.
No, I'm great. I'm great. We definitely have to ride this high, man. Anybody that has anything negative to say about how the Giants fans are acting right now, it's simply hate, bro. Because they're not used to seeing us up like this. It's been so long, and even then it's been mediocre. But right now, we look good. We're winning the games that we should be winning, and we're winning games that people think we shouldn't win. So it's a great combination, honestly.
It is. And Anthony, when you're looking at this team right now, do you think it's sustainable? Fourth quarter, come from behind wins. Daniel Jones, doing a lot with his legs. Saquon Barkley, we're kind of running the ball through him. He has a little bit of a shoulder issue, but it doesn't seem like it's too much of a problem right now. Do you think that we can still continue to keep winning these games, coming from behind against good teams, and pulling out these wins?
It's easy to say that that's not sustainable, but we've seen the Giants do this in the past. Of course, you think back to the Super Bowl runs, right? 2011-12 season, Eli Manning led the NFL in game-winning drives that year, right? And then the Giants went on to win the Super Bowl. So Daniel Jones is leading the NFL in game-winning drives right now. If he can keep doing this, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Like I said, we have seen it before. Is it completely sustainable? Maybe not. The Giants are probably going to need to start playing in front at some point this season. Playing from behind all the time really just is not the best strategy. The Giants are going to find themselves late behind in games, suffer an injury, and then they're done, which is exactly what happened against the Dallas Cowboys. So they do need to start playing with the lead at some point. But right now it is sustainable simply due to the fact that we have a great coaching staff that's putting players in position to succeed, and we're playing clean, smart football. We're not turning the ball over at an extreme rate, which is why the Giants are winning these games. Basically, the Giants strategy, oldest trick in the book, just wait for the other guy to make a mistake. That's all the Giants are doing. Like this past week against the Baltimore Ravens, the longest play from scrimmage on offense was 18 yards. The Giants didn't do anything special. They just played safe and did just enough to get in position to score, and waited for Lamar Jackson to throw that interception or to fumble that ball. They were just waiting for the other team to make that mistake and then capitalizing on it, which again, oldest trick in the book, best way to win football games when you maybe just don't have that much talent on your team, but really what it comes down to is some excellent coaching leading the way for the New York Giants through 6 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. And Raheim, when you're looking at this offense, how exciting is it to see Saquon Barkley bouncing back like this, having just an unbelievable 2022 season? Looks like his rookie self. And at this point in the season, looking at how impactful he's been, are you looking at him saying, we got to keep him? Like right now, the offense is him. He's doing a lot for us. And how important is it that we retain him for the future?
I feel like it's very important. Running the whole franchise running back thing hasn't really been an actual thing for a while, but saying the guys like Derrick Henry, and now it's looking like Saquon Barkley is like one of those running backs that you just have to keep. But him coming off an injury and now having the shoulder, it kind of is like, and like hearing the trade rumors was it was weird at the moment, but then he started like actually producing, and now he's looking like top 2 running back in the league right now. So I don't see that happening. I feel like we should retain him. I also feel like we should retain Daniel Jones, but that's probably a whole nother conversation. But I know it has to feel good for Saquon, shutting up all the naysayers and doubters and stuff. And he's just doing everything that we knew he could be doing and should be doing, especially with the last few years dealing with injuries. It's great to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can have the Daniel Jones conversation as well, because it's definitely an ongoing one. I think that it's going to continue to develop as the season goes on here. But Saquon, and it's interesting, right? Because we just saw Christian McCaffrey get traded to the 49ers. And traditionally, you look at the 49ers and say they don't need an elite running back to have an elite running game. They've spent 3 consecutive third-round picks on running backs, Trey Sermon. They got Elijah Mitchell, I think, in the 6th round last year. So, you're looking at a lot of capital being invested at that position, but even then, they still invested a huge amount of draft capital for McCaffrey now, and maybe a good team needs an elite running back, or at least the script is flipping a little bit, and we're seeing that Saquon can be so impactful. And the thing about Saquon, right, is not just about the stats. His run blocking has improved tenfold this year. Like, that was a huge weakness of his game. Now suddenly he is an unbelievable run, pass blocker, from that shotgun kind of set. So when you're looking at Saquon now, he's adding value there. But the value that really goes unnoticed is the attention that he draws. Why are the Giants doing so well on offense? Because they're running those play action, those bootlegs, those screen passes. Everybody's dialed in on Saquon and what he's going to be doing, that it draws in those safeties, it draws in those linebackers, and suddenly you have a lot more room to work with your guys like Darius Slayton or Wan'Dale Robinson or Daniel Bellinger.
Definitely.
And, it's kind of crazy to see, right? And, Anthony, when you're looking at Saquon, what kind of value do you think he's brought that maybe he hasn't in the past? I think that pass blocking is definitely key.
I think the pass blocking is key because that's somewhere that Saquon Barkley struggled a lot in the first few seasons of his career. To see the improvements that he's made this year is kind of astounding, just to see how much better he is as a pass protector. Daniel Jones needs the extra protection from Saquon Barkley. It can't always be Daniel Bellinger, the rookie tight end, chip blocking on the edge. But every now and then you got to protect with the running back. You got to leave the running back in the backfield and block. And in the past, Saquon Barkley was a complete liability in that regard. He was actually a liability on the field sometimes. There would be plays where the Giants needed to max protect, and you knew that the pressure was getting home because Saquon Barkley just could not block the pass rusher coming. So now that he's able to actually hold his own, put in some decent pass blocking snaps, it makes him a much more valuable player because he's no longer just a rusher, a receiver. He's also a protector. And I think that is huge, not only for Saquon Barkley's value, but also for Daniel Jones. It's helping him play better just to know that he has a running back who can protect him in the backfield. So very exciting stuff from Saquon Barkley there. It's been a great year from him so far. I expect it to continue. Hopefully, though, the Giants are able to get a little bit more out of the rest of the guys on offense, some of these receivers, so that they don't have to keep feeding Saquon Barkley. Again, he has this little shoulder injury. He did get 31 carries against the Chicago Bears just a couple weeks ago, and he's consistently getting about 25 touches per game. So I'm hoping that the Giants are able to scale back his production or his usage just a tad bit to maintain his health, keep him healthy for the rest of the year. But I mean, it's been amazing from Saquon Barkley so far, and I'm hoping that he's able to keep this going and really finish the year as an MVP candidate.
Yeah, that's facts. And Raheim, what are your thoughts about the rookie so far? Kayvon, Evan Neal, Bellinger, Wan'Dale. Even though the Wan'Dale Robinson hasn't had huge impact, he did last week. Bellinger's been sick. Evan Neal's starting to show some of that development, and Kayvon Thibodeau, impact player. What are your thoughts on those guys?
Yeah, I really like Evan Neal. Not gonna lie, like in the beginning, he was looking like how Andrew Thomas was also looking in his rookie season. But it's really starting to come together for him, for Kayvon, as the games keep going, to get that confidence. And that's really what it all comes down to, is the confidence. Like, we're winning games, your fans are behind you. MetLife is rocking. Your teammates are behind you. Like, if you seen, like, in that post-game interview, after he got, I think it was like after the Ravens game, they loved him. You know what I'm saying? I know it has to build confidence for him, and that's all it comes down to, is the confidence. With Wan'Dale, I'm just like, I can't control my excitement, because it's like, yo, this is what we wanted, like, out of Kadarius Toney. Like, Kadarius Toney has yet to score a touchdown. And I don't mean to, like, bring down Kadarius Toney, nothing, but, like, seeing, like, somebody else scoring a touchdown that's not named Saquon Barkley, it's beautiful, And then, like you said, back to I meant to say something about this, but I want to let you talk. The attention that he gets is, oh my God, like, it opens up so much to the offense. Like, against Green Bay, how we were able to get so many of those bootlegs off and just score off of that. It was beautiful. Like, it surprised me every time that they fell for and they bit. It was just all beautiful. But the rookies, I'm loving them.
Yeah, me too. I think they're like setting the tone for the future, and obviously those guys are going to get a lot more action. Wan'Dale played in 23% of offensive snaps in week 6, so I expect that to rise maybe to 50% in week 7 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, speaking of the Jacksonville Jaguars, let's discuss them for a second, because this is an opportunity for the Giants to extend their winning streak and extend their record to 6-1 on the season. And Jacksonville's no pushover, right? They're a decent team. They win some, they lose some, but they're pretty competitive. Trevor Lawrence has taken a step forward this year. They have one of the best pass blocking offensive lines in football. The running game is pretty solid with Etienne and James Robinson, both very capable running backs. They have a couple of good receivers as well in Christian Kirk. I know they traded Laviska Shenault, but they have a couple other guys that are pretty solid. And, right now, defense is fine. They have Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall pick. He's definitely a monster. Some pretty solid guys on that squad. How do you think, Raheim, the Giants can attack Jacksonville and maybe come out on top in this one?
I just feel like it has to be a combination of the run game and the air attack. More emphasis on the air attack than the running game, because like you don't want to overwork Saquon. And even if you can switch him out, we still got Matt Breida, Gary Brightwell, but definitely gonna want Saquon out there, honestly, even if you're like passing to him, but you don't want to like overwork him. So I feel like everything has to be like almost perfect. Not saying like Jacksonville is like somebody who have to like just really strategize for something like that, but you just don't want to be too one-dimensional, because like I said before we got on the air, like their interior like defense is insane. It's looking great, honestly. So you don't want to just be one-dimensional and then you're going backwards and then you'd be like 3rd and long and you end up in those situations. And you know how the Giants offense gets is 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, and that's something you don't want to see. And then you're playing from behind again.
That's facts, Anthony. What are your thoughts on Jacksonville stopping Trevor Lawrence? I think you just put pressure. I mean, I don't think that O'Shane Ximines or Azeez Ojulari are going to be able to play this week, according to Dable. It was a little bit vague on that. He said it wasn't looking so good. But, what are your keys in terms of stopping Trevor Lawrence and kind of limiting this Jacksonville offense?
Yeah, I mean, pressure, like you just mentioned, getting after the quarterback. Big game out of Leonard Williams, big game out of Dexter Lawrence, big game out of Kayvon Thibodeau. Those guys will set the tone. They will make things easier for the secondary. If the secondary is struggling, the best way to counteract that is with a good pass rush. And, they can make the coverage men look a whole lot better. Pressuring Trevor Lawrence, he throws up a bad pass, and the coverage guy gets a pick. That's how that goes, man. And that's exactly how the secondary is going to benefit from the pass rush. So, that's the way, in my opinion, to beat Trevor Lawrence, beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and come out on top in this game. Also, though, on the offensive side of the ball, just keep the ball clean. You have to win the turnover battle. The Giants just have to keep playing that clean, conservative, winning football due to the talent that they have on their roster. And again, that just takes good coaching. Brian Dable, I do trust him to get the job done against Jacksonville. I think that they are a lesser opponent. I think this is a game that the New York Giants should absolutely win, but they're going to win it by playing safe, not putting the ball in harm's way, and not making any stupid mistakes to dig themselves into their own grave. That's what they have to force Jacksonville to do. Force Jacksonville to make those mistakes. And the way that they do that, I think, is going to be through the pass rush. So let's hope to see a big game out of Kayvon Thibodeau.
Absolutely. And Raheim, I'll ask you this before I wrap here. What are your thoughts so far, your impressions on Brian Dable, thoughts on Joe Shane and what they've done so far for this organization, changing the culture, getting the most out of guys we didn't expect? In my opinion, I mean, I couldn't be any happier, but I'm sure you kind of, share the same sentiment.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say something about like the culture. Like it just feels different. Like every time somebody's like comparing like guys we had in the past after Tom Coughlin, it was just like just down and everything. Everybody was just so negative when they spoke about the Giants, but like Dable just always fired. Like his energy alone, like if you seen when Justin Tucker missed that kick last game, he was fired up, like, and it just make you get fired up. And like I just feel like he's just that guy that just brings that, that you feel me? Like I just feel like he just does everything. Like, and then him, and then you got Mike Kafka, and like I said, Joe Shane. Like, I don't know. I just feel like everything is just different now. It's like a whole different Giants team, which is another reason why I don't understand why people like still try to treat the Giants like they're the same Giants from a couple years ago. I mean, I can see if you go based off our schedule and our games we play, because that's all that matters at the end of the day. But who cares? We're 5-1. Like, end of the day,
Nah, I feel that it's night and day, right? It's night and day, the difference between old coaching staff, new coaching staff, the culture different. It's entirely different. I mean, ranging from what the players are saying to the discipline to just seeing how hard they're playing in general. Like why is Kenny Golladay, why was his role being diminished? Because he wasn't going 100%, right? Like you could tell. Why is David Sills playing every day? Every game, because he's going 100% every play. He's going out there making blocks in the run game. Yes, he's not the best receiver in the world, but he's putting out maximum effort. And that's the standard the Giants are trying to set. The coaching staff is trying to set that if you're not going to be here and get paid $16 million like Golladay is getting paid and not give 100%, you're not going to play, right? Like you're just not going to play straight up. And I think that's the difference between winning and losing football, is that sometimes the guys who aren't necessarily as good as, others on the roster than making a ton of money, they just play harder and they want it more and they put more energy and grit and heart into the team. And everybody benefits from that. Everybody benefits from giving 100%, from an individual giving 100%. Nobody benefits from someone giving 50, 75%. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. The difference between winning and losing football, Anthony. I don't know if you share that same idea.
I mean, of course I do. That is the difference between winning and losing football. And I keep ranting and raving about the new coaching staff. I love the culture shift. I love the energy that they've brought. I think that, the Giants have cycled in a bunch of head coaches since Tom Coughlin's reign ended. When you think back to Ben McAdoo and what the culture was like back then, well, they almost ran Ben McAdoo out of the freaking locker room. The players pretty much turned on him. They hated him by the end of his reign. Same thing with Joe Judge. The players hated him by the time he got fired. So I think that I just don't see that happening, though, with Brian Daboll. I think that the players just love Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll is getting a lot of love from the fans and the players alike, and he really does have all of the players just captivated. And I think that the energy that he brings to that locker room as a coach is just amazing. And it's very special to watch this team play for him and play to win. And it's just been a lot of fun through 6 weeks. So I'm hoping that, Brian Daboll can continue this trend and keep the Giants playing at this high level. And I do believe that he will.
Absolutely, my friends. But Raheim, I appreciate you coming on our first episode of Fan Friday. It means a lot to us, my man. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely going to be an exciting rest of the season, but I'll let you say what's good.
Yes, sir.
And any last thoughts?
Not really. I feel like we came together as a unit. We tackled this. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, no, honestly, look, we've been doing this for a long time. I'm sure you know that. So we're always like, I was like, you know what? I feel like the fans don't get enough chance to spread their opinions. And, I feel like there's value in that. So I appreciate you being so willing to come on short notice and really share your opinions. And it was great. I really appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Most definitely. I saw the tweet and I had to sign me up. Definitely.
100%, bro. We'll have to have you on in the future again. Appreciate it as always.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next Fireside Giants episode.